Today we're going to talk a little bit about block scheduling in Opcenter APS. Block scheduling is basically the ability to reserve capacity, whether you're going to reserve capacity by customer, by product type, by specific products, or whatever you choose to use. But it's giving you the ability to block off time or create blocks of capacity for specific areas. Why would you use block scheduling? We're seeing it today in this model, which is a model representing a dairy facility, so that they can create specific blocks of capacity so they have a standard production run. So they will start with a certain, 1%, 2% whole milk, and then cycle through and do it over again. I've also seen it very prevalent in the paper industry, and in the steel roll industry, where you're doing long production runs and you want to do a longer production run to increase efficiencies on the shop floor, but you want to be able to commit to customers when they can have their order. So you'll say, okay, I'm going to run a certain product type the third week of every month, so you can commit to the customer that they would have it the third week of the month or at the end of that week. So what we're going to look at here is the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart has your dates going across the top, and in this case, it looks like they're doing production runs of about 3 to 4 days each. You can see the downtime on the left and the downtime here. If we scroll out, we'll see multiple production runs. What we want to do is just look at a single week, so I'm going to scroll in. And what I'll do is take my reservations and go ahead and schedule those. And what you're going to see is a few lines that say these are the reservations. Then the lines under them are the actual resources that are getting scheduled based on those reservations. Then we have another reservation for 1 gallon and the resource that's running under that. So if I switch that so that I can actually see what my reservations are, I can highlight this one and it's going to show me that, okay, that's skim milk. From skim, we go to 2%. 2%, it looks like we're going whole goes to 1%, and so on. So you see down the line, it's repeating that same flow again. So in this particular one, they wanted to do blocks where they're doing a longer production run based on their batches, but that they can swap out and continue producing different types of milk throughout the day or throughout this production run, and then repeat. So, and then you've got your 1 gallon down here, so it looks like we're doing skim, and then 2%, and then we'll go to 3%. So if I go ahead and schedule the orders, the actual sales orders that came in into these blocks, what you're going to see is that each of the individual orders that came in are getting slotted in based on those blocks. So what happens here, for instance, this would be the 2%. The orders for 2%, and I just use the regular scheduling rule that says forward by due date. Orders that are due earliest are going to get scheduled first and fill up that block. When it runs out of capacity in that block, it goes to the next block that has capacity in it and starts scheduling that. When that one fills up, it'll look for the next slot. Looks like this one's scheduled down here, most likely because this block here is a little too thin and it wouldn't quite fit, so it finds the next available capacity. Let me zoom in on the single production run. So we can see that this is filling the blocks fairly well. There's a few with a little bit of capacity, but overall, we're in pretty good shape on the half-gallon fillers. If we look at the 1 gallon, filling the blocks, but there's still plenty of capacity available. And that's only because we don't have as many orders for this in that time frame. But if we were to open capacity, since we have this available, I can say, okay, I can either trim the block, which means it'll reduce it to whatever it's currently filled with, or I can expand the block. So I'm just going to expand the block 12 hours. Gives me more capacity here. And if I go ahead and unschedule and reschedule this bottom line, it's going to take some of these and slot them into here, which is helpful because if you notice, this one order here is showing with a red font. That red font is telling us that this is a late order, that it's scheduled past its due date. I'll go ahead and unschedule everything and reschedule. And you can see it took the orders that were here that could be run, slid them into here, and then went out further and said, okay, are there orders that I can use to fill this block, and pulled everything forward to complete those blocks. The other thing we can do, essentially trim these blocks. So if I go out, I just want to go out another week where I might not have full blocks. So in this case, yeah, we're seeing some here where we've got gaps in the schedule, where we've got open capacity and we don't have orders to fill those. So we can leave that open, hoping orders will come in. But if we're getting to the point, let's say we're on the 17th and we're saying, okay, this is all the capacity we're going to have, let's go ahead and pull it in so that we're keeping production running throughout the week. And then we can add blocks later in the week if we choose to pull things in. So what I'm going to do here is just zoom out a bit, take my terminator bar and drag it over that week, then zoom back in. So you're going to see this whole area is in gray for that week. And by doing that, I'm basically indicating that I'm locking down that week, that this week is going to be set in stone, and I'm sending it to the floor. So I'm going to say trim block by reference time. And what that's going to do is take anything to the left of this terminator bar and look at the blocks that are out here and reduce them by whatever's left in the actual capacity. In this case, you're seeing like this one here, it's only got one, and it's down here. You got a few here that have nothing in them. It doesn't trim them if they have nothing in them, hoping that there's something coming in and you can choose what to do with them. But anything that has at least one order in it, it will trim the block down to that size, freeing up that capacity. So that's the essentials of how block scheduling works within Opcenter APS. If you'd like more information, or if there's anything else we can help you with, please see our website at www.lean-scheduling.com or call 941-256-0376. Thank you.